Captain America Brave New World is now out. Let's talk about it.
Captain America caught without his wings.
You like to play dress up and blindly execute the
Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Before we get into this review, make sure to leave a like as it's free to do so. But firstly, I want to just talk about Marvel as a whole, talk about where they're at. And they're kind of in a little bit of a hard spot right now. They, of course, had a big success with Deadpool and Wolverine last year. And I think that was healthy for them to only release one movie last year. I do think that the TV shows, they still don't need to happen. If they do need to happen, it's one or two a year, man. That's the max I think that they should be doing. The movies, though, it's just been too much. And I think the issue with that is Bob Chapek. He took over Bob Iger back in 2020, and he just pushed out everything. He was like, I guess he told Kevin Feige to greenlight every single movie in existence and just have no payoff for anything. Because you remember when we had Marvel movies from like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, the post-credit scene of one previous movie, you'd basically see the payoff of that in, the next maybe 2 or 3 movies. Now you have like over like 5 to 10 post-credit scenes that have no payoff so far. That is something that's the biggest issue for Marvel for me right now. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why Kevin Feige keeps letting them put these post-credit scenes in these movies with no payoff. It is kind of interesting to me. I think it's a big missed opportunity because you're getting people so excited for these new characters in these post-credit scenes, but you're never going to see them again. It doesn't make any sense. I'm happy that Bob Iger has returned though, and he said, a year or two ago that they're slowing production down on some of these Marvel movies, not going to be, making as many. I think that is the best option there because a lot of them just seemed very half-baked and half-assed, especially from the writing department, post-production department. They're not giving, the VFX departments enough time to work on these. They're not shooting as much on location, which is horrible. I think the volume has just ruined movies as a whole, especially, green screen. Everyone has just gotten a lot lazier. The movies have gotten a lot uglier since the COVID, except Avatar. We still love Avatar, but yes, I do think that's a big issue there. Another issue that isn't Marvel's fault is the critics talking about Marvel movies. I think that critics are just really hard on superhero movies as a whole now because, back when phase 2 and phase 3 were going on, the critics went a lot easier on Marvel. If you go look, I don't think they didn't have a rotten score until Eternals, maybe. I think I might be correct on that, but I think Thor 2 doesn't even have a rotten score, and that just shows that critics were a lot easier. Because you're telling me that Eternals and the Marvels and like this movie are worse than Thor 2. No, I don't think so at all. I really think that Thor 2 is still my least favorite, Incredible Hulk also. So it's crazy that. And Guardians 3 actually has a pretty low score, 82. It's still positive, pretty low considering that Guardians 2 still has a higher score than that. And many people think that Guardians 2 is the worst. So I think that Marvel has a lot of in-house issues, but they have a lot of outside issues that they can't control, and critics just seem to be out on hurting these movies. And I also think a lot of people just can't make up their own opinion. Like a lot of people that I talk to on social media about these movies are saying, "Oh, I'm not going to go see it because everyone says it's bad," and I'm like, if you can't make up your own mind on like a movie and go see it for yourself, that just shows how sad of a human you are. I really think that I like to go into a movie with basically no expectations, leave my expectations at the door, walk into it. If I enjoy it, great. If I don't, fine. But I do not like to be, controlled by other people's opinions. So that gets to my main review, and you can, watch my opinion, but you don't have to take it. You can go see this movie for yourself, and I recommend that you do. But Captain America, Brave New World, I'm on the side of thinking that it's decent and fun, but a very messy film, similar to some of the Marvel Phase 1 and Phase 2 movies like Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, and yes, Thor: The Dark World. Let's start with my positives because there is still a lot that I did like, including the cast. Anthony Mackie as Captain America. I really do like him a lot, but I just wish they'd let him take the serum already because some of these action sequences are really unbelievable. Like, how is this man not dead yet? How is he not broken every single bone in his body? It doesn't make any sense, but I think he's a great new Cap. Danny Ramirez is a very charismatic Falcon. I loved him a lot in this movie. I thought he had some great comedic lines. Carl Lumbly, I'm happy that he's back after his great outing in the Captain America and Winter Soldier show. Harrison Ford, I think Harrison Ford's great. I love that they got him for this movie, and I cannot wait to see the behind the scenes stuff. And like, if he was in a mocap suit doing the Hulk stuff, I think that would be really funny. And Giancarlo Esposito, I think, was added in reshoots, but he was a great part to this movie, especially in the first half, because that first half is my favorite part of the movie, where it's like a political spy thriller, and it felt more grounded. I wish Giancarlo was actually the main villain here, because he had like a one-on-one against Anthony Mackie's Captain America, and that was like, I think, the most tense I've been in the theater watching the movie. So I wish they just kept him as the main villain, like the Serpent Society, because it would have been a much better grounded Captain America movie. The action sequences are also pretty good. They are kind of kind of iffy on the fight scenes, but I do like the aerial combat, especially over Tiamat. People can joke about it, but we finally got to Tiamat. We finally got to see him in a movie again after like years and years. But I thought the action sequences were pretty cool. Now let's get to my negatives, and I think the biggest negative I have is that second half, because that is where it just goes from place to place to place, and it gets really messy. And that's where they kind of just go full in on the leader and Red Hulk. Don't get me wrong, I do like Red Hulk, but I didn't envision a Captain America movie being the villains being the leader in Captain America. I wish they kind of just went with the Serpent Society, and as I said, made it more grounded, because the Winter Soldier was so great because it was such a grounded movie. So yeah, that second half just goes completely off the walls at some parts. And probably another big negative that I don't think, I keep seeing it in these movies, man, is the CGI and green screen. Some of the scenes look great. Some of them look very, very distracting, man. It's happened, as I said, since Bob Chapek started pushing out these movies too fast. These VFX houses have no time to work on these movies, and they're just using green screen for no reason in some of these scenes where characters are just talking to another character. I don't know why we can't just shoot on location for two people talking to each other. I get it, the action sequences, but at some point you just gotta stop. I mean, you have two characters just talking to each other on a street with cherry blossom trees behind them, and you're telling me that needs to be green screened in. I don't understand that. I really don't. It's really hard to rewatch these movies with these glaring visual issues, because you have, it's 2025. You have like Avatar movies that look that great, and guess why they do? Because the VFX people get so long to work on them. 3 years, 4 years to work on them. These movies that they're trying to make now, they need at least like half a year to a full year for VFX. And I'm kind of worried about the next Avengers movies to see how bad they look. But hopefully they have at least 6 to 8 months to work on VFX. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four do look better, but those might be under Iger, so he's giving more time for those. But I just felt like those are some of the biggest issues, and the script also just felt clunky, and it felt like they just wanted to chuck a lot of exposition at you, especially from The Incredible Hulk. I felt like this was a direct sequel to Incredible Hulk, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but there's some big issues here. Overall, Captain America Brave New World is another film from the Chapek era of Disney and Marvel, and that sadly made for a mess of a movie, but it's still a decently fun time, and that mostly comes from the charismatic cast, fun action sequences, but these movies need more time in post and pre-production, because these scripts and CGI and green screen issues just won't fly anymore. I'm gonna give Brave New World a low 6 out of 10. If you need to see the new Captain America movie, leave your own thoughts down below in the description, and if you did enjoy my review, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.